Bwah ha 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 ha. My name is Amy2 and welcome back to Talk to Transformer. Also, as a warning, if you hear anybody else laughing in the video besides me, it's because my mom and sister are behind this curtain. And yeah, let's go. Amy2 was driving Moon's car while her car was getting repaired on June 9th, 2008 at 9:45 p.m. But what happened after the car was repaired isn't so clear. That's because Moon's 2-year-old Sarah J. Webb Moon was in the backseat of the car with her 5-year-old sister, Avery. At some point, Moon's ex-fiancé, Clint Moon, who was parked in front of the house, pulled over to fix the car. Since the lane was not officially closed at the time, Moon and Moon's former neighbor are said to have left Moon's car in a parking spot, and both Moon and the neighbor took Moon's car to repair the interior about 20 minutes later. A lot of Moons. But it wasn't really about Amy2. Moon lost his car in the woods. Moon lost his car in the woods in the fall of 1947. And after some agonizing what? The Great Bear Wilderness Association persuaded some hiking buddies to look for him. Their 3-day trek up Mount Agassiz took them through the west part of the park, over several lakes, over several lakes, and down through Washington and Idaho into Utah. After several false starts, they found Wishing Star Lake. As they explored the lake, the group discovered what seemed to be an animal. In some details, it was difficult to tell if the creature was a bear or a sea lion, or a sea serpent. Regardless, the group decided to shoot the creature. The film is lost, but in a note that Hunter Ed Latimer gave to Latimer Film in October 1974, Slater was digging for files on the internet when he found. Slater was digging for files on the internet when he found the most dangerous place on Earth. He was fascinated with the survivalist universe, from the strategy of building a lair and putting food and water inside, to the weaponry that humans and animals had used in deadly duels to stay alive. Animals? Okay. For the past 4 years, Dr. Hal Hal C from the Coalition of Humanity and a spokesman for the UNSC has developed a new way to save humanity. A program called the UNSC Outpost Initiative. He has chosen to live inside the battle zone and continue to focus on technology. Dr. Halsey has adopted a new phrase, atmospheric incapacitators. Excuse me, what? Watch a video from inside Halo here. I'm gonna make that one go again. Sutter was digging for files on the internet when he found a page of Wikipedia entries in which the company claimed to have a trademark on the name Cheese Slider. Cheese Slider. They decided to put their trademark application through because their extensive research showed that the online community were intensely interested in the team's strange badges. Cheese Forge explained that they have been working closely with Aussie firm Woolworths in a secret effort to defend their own brand. And after receiving the official approval to trademark the name Cheese Forge, they had to begin the process of actualize the trademark. Woolworths is yet to receive the trademark, so the team have told Aussie media that they are sticking to their original plan to have their work be featured on a larger scale on the ... Cheese Slider and Cheese Forge. Apparently the same company. Big Boy and Buddy. We're trying to get internet in their spaceship. Big Boy and Buddy were trying to get dial-up internet in their spaceship when the old chump Navy man came in and insulted them, and the working man of the universe. Wow, what a shocker. Buddy was telling all his crew to go home. He didn't want them to come with him on the mission. Navy man wasn't having it. He took Buddy aside and told him that if the company wasn't going to take care of him, he'd take care of it himself. Of course, Buddy thought it was so awesome. He fell in love with the Navy man's awesome attitude. And since that day, Buddy swore to prove to Navy man that he could do anything he could dream of. Buddy took to writing to Navy man. What? Oh man, it was so good. Let's try that one again. Big Boy and Buddy were trying to get dial-up internet in their spaceship, so they downloaded BitTorrent. They were so excited, and finally, on the day before it was due, they got bored and downloaded a supercard game. With absolutely no end in sight, it became a daily ritual of excitement. They could download anything that caught their interest. For instance, on the day it was due, they downloaded a load of adult games, period. It became an unending loop of pleasure. What the... Okay. But every time they used their hidden wireless IP address, there would be a copy of Pokemon Crystal on their computer. What? With no end in sight, they set up some privacy modes and attempted to hold back on downloading anything that might pose a security risk. So every time they used their hidden wireless IP address, there would be a copy of Pokemon Crystal on their computer. What? Oh man. It's like, hey, don't use that IP address, otherwise another copy of Pokemon Crystal will show up. Why Pokemon at all? Like, why anything? Amy 2 was driving down a mountain road when suddenly her brakes went out. What is this? Amy 2 is driving down a mountain road when suddenly her brakes went out. She thought that her oil was getting sticky, and so she had turned the car off. When she got home, she was frantically looking around for her car. She found it and started to try to find out what had happened. Her car had crashed into a rock face. A rock face! The only thing that was visible from the inside was the window that had shattered. That was shattered. She couldn't see how much damage had been done to the car. Then she noticed her car keys on the floor. She was in no state to go back into the car. Mrs. Patrika Belik went back to the crash site and found an iPod. It was still in the left boot. The left boot. What? You mean there are boots in the car? Then she went to a fence line where ... I like it where the car crashed into a rock face. A face of rock. Moon was contemplating getting a turbo charger for his car. What is this? Moon was contemplating getting a turbocharger for his car. Little did he know of what it would do to his price on eBay. And now we have an ASRT 0 to 60 in 2.4 liter DOHC with turbo. 0 to 60 in 2.4 liters. It doesn't even make any sense. Oh yeah, once the engine gets this certain size, it gets to 60 miles per hour. So at the exact time that the battery was being put in, the original charger and the newest charger are swapped over. Every reason you could have not did it was probably happening in the background. And like, how many exclamation points is that? 12 exclamation points in a row there. Open mailbox! Welcome home, Mr. Ryder. Weren't you expecting someone to show up? Wasn't the teacup not all you left me? I love you, long-time Ryder. Your time was up. I already had it. Jody had a great ... What? Slater was left a teacup from the rider. Sutter was left a teacup from the rider. Scout. Hail to set out a plane for some reason. What? Hail to set out on a plane for some reason. The rarest Valerian steel sword from the centuries-old Metallurgical fortress at Meereen is leaving the local citadel of the Night's Watch in Seaford for a further 23 years. The Chalice forges a special type of Valerian steel called Neferets. I cannot pronounce any of these words. For use in her own personal handheld sword. You know, if the sword is not handheld, what is it? Slater but has reluctantly decided that no longer hunting can sustain the hoard of precious metal. Excuse me, what? The computer must have had a brain fart there. So the sword will remain in Seaguard after her sudden departure in the middle of her reign as queen. The decision has left loyal members of the Night's Watch with no ... What even? Let's try that one again. What is... Slater was left a cup of tea from the rider with a message on it that reads, "How does a Jedi's knucklebone end up stuck in his arse?" What? There are two things that we really don't see in this scene. tired or very injured, and crying after not only doing the work he was told. Both possible emotional states a person might be in if he/she woke up, remembers he/she woke up in his or her sleep, took stock of the situation, and then felt remorse, regrets, or guilt for the previous 24 hours. I take this to mean that we didn't need the very first thing that Rick gave to Asher. We didn't see how he got a broken toy from the sand god. Or how ... So he got a broken toy from the sand god. A broken toy from the sand god. But anyway, I'm going to have to end this video here. If you liked it, please subscribe. And go check out my other Talk to Transformer stuff, unless you already have. In which, go watch them again. Because you've probably forgotten some of them. Anyway, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.